What's good, gang? What's the vibes? And we back again. New episode of Spottin' Fakes. The biggest red flag that you can spot on this shoe right away is the quality of the shoe. And these are the Jordan 10 Shadows from its new buck. You want to make sure it's nice and buttery. You want to make sure also that this red is nice and buttery, that it's the same red as the Chicago red, which it is. The biggest red flag on the Jordan 10 is making sure all his accomplishments are actually listed on the bottom of the shoe, which they actually are. A couple sneaker events I seen where they weren't actually listed. That was crazy to me. But yeah, that's the biggest red flag on the Jordan 10. So I picked this pair because actually I started seeing everybody going crazy for it. You actually seen a couple lines out there. They fully sold out right away on sneakers, which it was only 22,000 pairs. And right away, it kind of reminded me of actually the top 10 sneakers of the year, which was the Jordan 5 Metallics. You know, a lot of people couldn't get this shoe when it first came out. It also released in the package, so it kind of made it a little bit more difficult. It was kind of one of those shoes where if you know, you know, and especially if you're an OG to the sneaker game, you really hold near and dear to your heart. This sneaker is a big deal for collectors because at a time in Jordan's career, when he actually stepped away from basketball for a while and rejoined baseball, this is actually one of the shoes that Nike released, and they actually turned it into cleats. If you notice, this is kind of like a highly functioning shoe. It's low to the ground, so it was good for baseball. So you've seen Jordan a lot of times on the baseball field with this specific shoe. He turned it into cleats, the turfs. He used to warm up in this shoe. So this is actually coming from a former baseball player. This is a shoe that's really near and dear to me, and I know it is for the people who play baseball out there. So straight into it, this is one of the more classic boxes. You started to see this more recently, but with the last Jordan 10s that came out, it's kind of like a hardwood type of box. You got all the nostalgic Jordan pictures here, and then you got all the Jordan shoes from 1 to 10 leading up to the Jordan 10, clearly visible there. It's a pretty dope box to see. It jumps out at you. It got the Jordan logo in the middle. It got all his nostalgic photos on it. So you might want to keep this box in good condition. So when getting straight into it, this box is again gray. This box has again the Jordan nostalgic photos on it, listed numbers 1 through 10, original colorways. You see the stamp, kind of like that orange stamp, which is good to see right away. Again, Jordan's a big fan of actually wrapping both shoes, which you actually see. Again, if it's not wrapped that way, that's automatically a red flag. You got your brown, orangish colorway of the paper, which is also good to see. It shouldn't be too stiff, too glossy. You got ridges on it, which is good to see. You got your secondary white paper. Do we have a YDM, which we do. Should be nice and green, never too glossy. Jordan's been putting this kind of like Compass QC sticker on it, which that's actually cool. It's actually not a sticker, but it's printed on the box this time, so that's actually good. Again, the box shouldn't be too rigid. It should be nice and smooth. Shouldn't be too stiff, which is not. That's a good sign. Then going into the shoe. Again, first thing as the OG collectors you want to see is those accomplishments, which they clearly listed down here. Again, they're nice and centered. This font shouldn't be too thin, which is not. It's not on here, which is a good sign. Going straight into the tongue, you got your Jordan embossing, that Air Jordan logo, nice and centered in the middle. You're gonna get really detailed with this one. You got your tag right here, double stitching right here. That's good to see. Just the midsole of the shoe right here on this touch should be nice and firm. On the back, you should kind of see this half circle indent, which is kind of is clear right here. You got your Jordan logo, Jumpman logo. Again, we shouldn't be doing the layup or dribbling here. It's nice in the center. You got your checkerboard sock liner, which is good. This shoe is actually a shoe that the tongue is connected to the shoe. It should be attached, which is good. You got these support laces right here, and then you got your double stitching right here where the laces are. And last but not least, to help put your shoe in, you should see this nice pattern right here, which is nice and visible. And yeah, this is a premium shoe. First time we see this in a while, so all the cuts should be nice and premium. Never should have too much excess glue. These are not gonna make outlets. You got a lot of people picking them up, and these actually been selling out. Also, you got your line right here. We're starting to see that more on the Jordan 10s. It's a good sign. Then last but not least, you're going into the smell. You got your red Jordan insole. This is also a dream cell insole. Just kind of brought from Jordan to kind of make the shoes more wearable and more like throughout the day comfortable for you. Got your dream cell. Getting the Nike Air. It's nice and centered. Footbed, gray with that line running up and down. That's a good sign. Yeah, man, these are the Jordan 10 Shadows. It's always very important to be very detailed with a shoe because you never want to assume something's real off the bat. Sometimes when you get it from, you know, people that are highly regarded or been selling shoes for a while, you may assume that, you know, this shoe is real. But at the end of the day, sometimes they don't even know if the shoe that they have it or selling to you is actually real. You always want to go deep into details like the insole, the smells. You want to make sure all the stitching is on key because there's a lot of good fakes out there. You know what I mean? Again, these are shoes that are going for $300-$400. You know, people are easily convinced and they never seen this shoe especially a high quantity of pairs in front of themselves. So they can't really compare. But yeah, again, this is one of the coveted shoes that haven't released for a while. And you know, there's not a lot of pairs in the market. So you wanna make sure you run through your details, run through your checks and your smells, and make sure you're not getting got out here. Again, these were released November 19th for $215. Kind of a steep price point, but let me know if this is a cop or drop. A lot of the OG collectors out there haven't seen this shoe in a while and missed out the first time. You don't wanna be one of those heads. So let me know in the comments, is this a drop, a cop? What are you doing? Until next time, stay real, not spooky, and catch me on the next Spottin Fakes.